like playing games. I'm sure some children like playing games as well. I like playing sport too. But over the years, I've played my fair share of video games. I'm sure some of our young people who are preparing for reconciliation have probably played a few video games as well. I used to play them even on things called Sega Master Systems and Atari. I can't remember what it was called, 64 maybe, or something like that. Going back a long time, the very first of these back in the day. But I remember in some of the games that I played over the years that you'd get some lives, you'd get some chances. That if you're playing along and the character that you have dies, well, you get another chance. And then you might get another chance. And you get a few chances as you play, or a few more lives, which sort of makes the game a little bit longer, but it makes it a little bit more fun too, having a few chances. When you play a game like baseball or a game like softball, the batter gets a few chances as well. They get to swing a few times. If you swing and you miss, well, you get another chance. And then after you have 3 chances and you swing and you miss, then you're out. A little bit like some of those games as well. In the Old Testament, they had this idea that when someone did something wrong to you, if they did something wrong once, well, you should forgive them. If they do something wrong twice, you should forgive them. If they do something wrong 3 times, you should forgive them. But after that, no more forgiving. That was the Old Testament understanding. And that's where we get to with the gospel today. Peter comes to Jesus and says, well, how many times should we forgive? And Peter suggests, well, maybe we should do 7 times. So that's 3 plus 3 plus 1 extra. That's more than double what you had to do in the Old Testament of what the Jewish people were required. If I forgive someone 7 times, give them 7 more chances when they've messed up on the same thing, maybe that's a good thing. And Jesus says we shouldn't give someone just 1 chance or 3 chances or 7 chances. Jesus says if someone makes a mistake or they've messed something up or they've done something mean to us, we should forgive them, Jesus says, 77 times, which is a very big number. I can't remember how many times I've forgiven certain people. After you get to about 5 or 6, it sort of all just blurs together. And so what Jesus is saying is that we should forgive all the time. Almost a bit like we're going to have the game, and the game is going to keep going on and on and on for the rest of our lives, because we'll never get to the game over section of the game because we keep getting another chance. And that's the way God's with us. God doesn't say, well, I caught you out, you made a little mistake. You dropped the glass of milk and it smashed and milk went everywhere. That's it, life's over with Christ. That's not the way Jesus works. He gives us another chance. You were mean to your mum or your brother. Oh, that's it, no more with God. God doesn't say that either. He said, okay, we'll give you another chance. And another chance, and another chance, and another chance. And it's a beautiful thing. And then we get this parable in the gospel today from Jesus, and it's a fascinating parable about 2 servants who had debts. And one had a debt with a master of a very, very large amount. The equivalent, according to the scholars, of probably millions of dollars. 10,000 talents was enough to run the economy, according to some of the ancient scholars, of a town of about 10,000 people. So that's the debt that this man had with you can in essence say a bit like with a bank. A very, very big debt. And he comes to him and the master says, you've got to pay this back. You've got to find a method to be able to pay back what you owe me. And he says, I can't. And he said, well, we're going to have to find a method. And he said, please forgive me my debt. And this man, this very generous man, the master then says, okay, we'll call it square. You go on. I want you to live life and I want you to be happy. And I don't want you to have this debt hanging over you. And so he forgives the debt. And this same man who had his debt forgiven, a huge debt, millions of dollars, then goes to another friend of his who had a very small debt. According to the scholars, probably worth about $100. Not that much. and he says to this man, I want my money back. I want my $100 back, after someone had already forgiven millions of dollars in debt. And the man couldn't pay back the $100 right that very moment. And so this man who had his big debt forgiven then throws the other man into prison and says, I'm going to take everything until you can pay back my debt, my little debt of $100. Which is a really unjust way of doing it. Jesus forgives a huge debt for us. Sometimes we make mistakes. We all make mistakes. I make mistakes. But Jesus forgives this debt for us. But we should also forgive the failings of others as well. We shouldn't say, oh, well, you were mean to me yesterday, so I'm going to be mean to you today and I'm never going to be your friend ever again. That's not the way it works. If someone's mean to us, what Jesus is saying is that we should respond with kindness. We should forgive them and we should let them be whole again. We should be nice. And today we begin the journey of reconciliation for a number of our young people. And we've been thinking today beautifully with the readings about forgiveness and about reconciliation, about letting the debts go. And that's an important thing in reconciliation, being able to say, well, yes, someone's made a mistake. They've failed. But will we give them a second chance? I hope so. That's part of forgiveness. That's part of the sacrament of reconciliation, getting a second chance. But it's not just a second chance. It's a third chance, a fourth chance, a fifth chance, a sixth chance. When you've made a mistake with mum or dad, you can go to them and you can say sorry. And you can ask them, please give me another chance. And hopefully your parents will say, yeah, okay, we'll give you another chance. And if you make the same mistake again, go back and say, I'm sorry, I'm trying to be better, but I've made another mistake. Give me another chance. The Christian life is not to say, well, you get 3 chances and you're out. Game over. That's it. Chores, no fun time, no playing. That's not the way it works with Jesus, and that's not the way it should work with us either. So as we start to prepare candidates for Sacrament of Reconciliation, pray that we can be people who give others chances. When they mess up, let's not be the ones who condemn them, say, you're terrible, get out of my life, don't want to be your friend anymore. Let's give them another chance, and another chance, and another chance. That's what Jesus does, and that's what we can do as well.